Christmas, everybody. Here with Santa Claus. Go ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho.
I'm here with Grandpa Claus. Welcome to a special episode of Bourbon and Booze where we Christmas fell on cocktail hour. So we're going to do a twist of the classic hot buttered rum. And we're going to do a hot buttered rye whiskey because my buddy loves rye whiskey. So let us go ahead and walk you through this. If you haven't watched all the episodes this week, you should go back and watch them. The pecan pie episode on Monday, the Caribou Crossing episode from Tuesday, which was really good. The 2 coffees we did on Wednesday. Hopefully you enjoyed waking up this morning with those coffees, either peppermint bark or salted caramel. Thursday we did Angel's Envy yesterday. We stretched that a little bit. And today we're going to finish up our Christmas week with this hot buttered whiskey. And hopefully you enjoyed all of the advent calendar. So we woke up this morning and we're going to open all of our presents, and we do a whiskey, or we do an alcohol exchange. For me, it's always whiskey. We do an alcohol exchange. So already we're thinking about next year's advent calendars and all the different stuff we're going to do. If you missed any of that advent calendar stuff, make sure you pay attention, because on episodes in January, we're going to focus on each one of those. So we'll try to get a review from each of those. So hopefully most of you have tried the hot buttered rum before. It's one of our favorites in the house. We usually have some in the refrigerator. In fact, we have some in the refrigerator right now that will probably get moved out because we're going to make some new batch here. And it's really simple to make. And so this is a hot buttered whiskey, but you can actually add anything, because the base we're going to show you is the basic hot buttered rum mixture, but you can add whiskey. Rye whiskey is supposed to make this really intense flavor. Canadian whiskey, you can add vodkas and liqueurs or whatever you want. So, recipe will be on the side right here. What you do is you start off with 1 stick of butter, which I've already got the stick of butter in there, and it should be at room temperature. So this one's melted a little bit. So 1 stick of butter. Got that? Okay. 3/4 cup of brown sugar, and you want to mix that all together. Now the difference with this hot buttered rum and most hot buttered rum is we're going to use the agave nectar, agave in the raw nectar. So it's an agave syrup. This is our sweetener besides the brown sugar. This was difficult for us to find. It's not too expensive. It's like $3. But you might want to look. Now, there's lots of agave syrups out there, but this is the agave nectar in the raw. And you're going to use 1/4 cup of agave nectar. You can pour that in there. And got you this cool little spatula if you want. He got brown sugar all over the bar. It's going to be sticky for months. That's where Andy stands too, so you can't really reuse that. Okay, and then we just picked up stuff we had in the cabinet. You do a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a pinch of salt, got it, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground allspice, not Chinese 5-spice, and 1/8 of a teaspoon, just a little bit of Cody's favorite, cloves. And then you want to stir that. Cody doesn't like cloves. You're going to stir that really well into a good mixture. And then, go ahead and show the camera, Cody. You got it pretty good. You can stir it by hand like he's doing it if your butter's melted really well. Or you can use a paddle on your blender. You just got to make sure the butter is thoroughly mixed, because you don't want butter clumps.
What if I want butter clumps?
Unless you want butter clumps. And then what you want to do is we normally store ours in a little dish, kind of like this, in the refrigerator. But you can actually like lay it down on like a saran wrap and just roll it really tightly and keep it there, and then you can just unroll and cut pieces. But we're going to put this one that he just made in the refrigerator for about an hour or two, and we come out with this. We're to this part. So it's it'll keep for a long time. In fact, a very long time in your refrigerator.
As long as butter?
Yeah, as long as butter. So that is the 1 stick of butter mixture. So it's quite a bit. So what we do is you're going to take just a clump of that, about 1 ounce. Just a big spoonful. Yeah. In your glass. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. And so we have 3 glasses because Andy's here. Because of all sorts of different reasons. No studio audience today, but Andy came up for this. We're using rye whiskey from Old Forester. Having problems there, buddy?
It's just kind of hard to... This doesn't look like a lot.
So sometimes if you do it in the saran wrap, then you can cut them into your desired sections. That's good. 2 ounces of rye whiskey. You can go less if you want, but we'd call you weird. No, we wouldn't. If you want to go less.
No, you'd be weird.
2 ounces of whatever alcohol you want.
It's both Christmas and 2020.
Yeah.
Just put 10 ounces in there.
So whether you're doing a rum, like we like our hot buttered rum with Appleton's spiced rum, but you can do a spiced rum or whatever, a vodka, whatever you want. And then you top it off with about 4 ounces of hot boiling water, and then you stir. And this makes a perfect Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, sitting by the fireplace, enjoying the calm of the winter weather. It's a good warming thing. And this will actually be our first one this season because it really hasn't been cold enough until recently for us to have a hot buttered rum. My wife will tend to get into it in the summer at times, just because she's in the mood for it. Now, she likes it with the Appleton rum. She doesn't like it with whiskey. Guess I should got more spoons. I'll get the straw and keep stirring. Just mix it until it's dissolved. Some people like to mix the hot water first and then that alcohol after it's all mixed, but to me it doesn't really matter. Put Andy's over there. He can get it once we're off. And the hot buttered rye whiskey. Ooh. It's the hot buttered rum with the spiciness, peppery of a rye. I like this.
I don't want any settlement.
Any sediments or settlements? Are people moving in?
Yeah, I don't want people moving in.
Now, 2 ounces of rye whiskey. This is probably just a one type of drink.
Better than the hot butter rum I remember trying.
Yeah. Cody's not a big fan of this, so wasn't surprised. So, hopefully you guys are having a great Christmas. You got everything you wanted. Hopefully this is ushering out 2020, which has been a year to forget. This is a good thing to do. We do have a special episode coming up, our last cocktail episode of the year, and Cody is going to give us some sort of mind-wiping erasure cocktail for 2020. So,
Hint, never clear.
make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Check out Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all of our merchandise. Hopefully you've enjoyed all of our videos this year. We got a couple more going, and then in the new year we got a whole bunch of nice, exciting stuff for you guys. And so stay tuned. Make sure you follow along. And Merry Christmas. Cue Christmas music. I have no Christmas music for you.
Don't copyright it?